Tonight, the wait is over. Time for the Fever to get back in action.
After a while, you practice, you want to see, where you at.
Momentum from July looking to carry over to this final month of the season.
People won't notice. They can see how good we are, and I think we just have to stay consistent in what we do good.
The push to the playoffs is on, and the Fever are ready to roll.
There's only a month, and every single game is going to matter.
It starts with a showdown tonight against Phoenix. WRTV's Friday Night Hoops pregame starts right now.
WRTV Friday Night Hoops tips off now.
Fans coming from far and wide to pack the Fieldhouse once again. The Indiana Fever leading the WNBA in attendance, and they're going to have another big crowd here tonight. More than 16,000 expected as the second half of the season, really the final third, begins as the Indiana Fever host the Phoenix Mercury, and it's coming up at 7:30 tonight on ION. And good evening, everyone. Welcome you in here live to Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Brad Brown here with you as we count our way down toward tonight's Friday night action between the Fever and the Phoenix Mercury. The first of 4 Friday night pregames we'll have for you here as our ION coverage continues through the end of the regular season. It's a big game for the Fever as right now they hold the final playoff spot. They hold the next to last playoff spot in the WNBA standings. And this matchup here against Phoenix tonight is looking for some momentum heading into this next part of the season. The matchup looks like this. Phoenix just played last night in Chicago with a win over the Sky. These teams are 7 and 6 respectively in the WNBA standings, but so far this season, the Fever have held the edge over the Phoenix Mercury in a big way. Last time they played here was back on July 12th, a 95-86 win for the Indiana Fever. Kelsey Mitchell had 28 points, Caitlin Clark 21 and 13 assists, and Aaliyah Boston had 20 points as well. It was another game where the Fever had a big lead. Kalia Copper brought the Mercury back, and then the Fever were able to close it out. We've seen some great finishes from this team this season. They'll need another one here tonight, and they're looking forward to this next showdown against the Phoenix Mercury.
These are 2 really huge, important games for us to get this second half really started off on the right note and, come out, show how much better we've got. I think, to set the standard of what we want this last 14 games to be and hopefully make the playoffs. I think it's a huge weekend for us, honestly.
We're ready for it, especially who we started off playing and their ability to just score the ball, their leadership, they're like senior, I'm trying to pick my words, but
veteran players.
Veteran players, that's a better way to see it. But now I think we've just had that experience, especially that first half, to come into the second half ready for it.
And this is a key game in the playoff chase. Here's the standings as we get back in action. The Fever 7th, just behind Phoenix and just ahead of Chicago. Remember, the top 8 make the playoffs. Right now, it would pair the Fever against Connecticut in round 1. Just 14 games left. Not a lot of wiggle room left in this final month of the season. Now, if you haven't been here for a game yet this summer, you got to get here for one, because if you have been, you know the excitement around this building. It's even more here tonight. Feels a little bit like an opening night part 2. Well, also the announcement earlier this week that Indianapolis will host the WNBA All-Star Game coming up next year. I had a chance to talk just a short time ago with Pacers Sports and Entertainment Vice President and COO Mel Reigns about looking ahead to next summer's big event. First, congratulations. What was the excitement in your office when all of this came together? It seems like it happened kind of quickly.
It did. Thank you. It's been a whirlwind, 6 weeks, and I would say the players were exactly the same as our staff, which was, we told them to a person, just excited for the opportunity. It's a perfect time for us to host this game.
For this fan base that has turned out like this year, this feels like a big reward for the entire organization, the city, and all of that.
Yeah, I think it's a culmination of our success at hosting a lot of events, that they would turn to us, they would look at the season that we've had. We had 3 All-Stars in Phoenix who won the game, and I think it all made sense. And so, yeah, it is a culmination. It's a big thank you to our fans.
You had a chance to see what they were doing in Phoenix. What did you learn from that trip to take away maybe some nuggets that might work here in 25?
Every time we go to an event, we learn a little bit something, certainly, and we think about how we could do it a little bit better with our spin. I think for us here, the legacy piece and the community parts of it are always so important. I'm excited to not have a snow plan for this one, and so we're going to dress up downtown and make sure anybody who wants to come downtown and be a part of this can be.
So there's still a lot of this to come together, but the dates are set for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend. That'll include Friday's 3-point contest and skills challenge here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. This is all the third weekend of July. The All-Star Game itself will happen on that Saturday night set for July 19th, and then the entire weekend they'll have what's called WNBA Live, their big fan fest. That'll be at the Convention Center, and we know when Indianapolis does these, they do them also very well. Remember, the NBA All-Star Game was a massive hit here back in February, even given the challenges that the weather presented, but we see this every time with College Football Championship, Final Fours. We know how to do events here in Indianapolis, and we know that Mel and her crew here with the Pacers will be set to go just as well when the Fever hosts this next summer at All-Star 2025. Now, between all of the basketball that we've been waiting over the course of the last 4 weeks, there was a little more basketball for some of the Fever players. A trio of them were at the Indiana State Fair just last week, as the basketball court there on the north side of the fairgrounds is being dedicated as a full-time space for the State Fair going forward. Pacers Sports and Entertainment adding to that with the Pacers and Fever logos will be there soon. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell were out there to help kids get some shots up and really enjoy the day out there, and look forward to seeing that as the fair continues through the end of this weekend. Well, the Olympics have just wrapped up last weekend. Team USA was a gold medal winner. Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi on the Phoenix Mercury roster came back with gold medals. Well, the Fever have an Olympian of their own. Christy Wallace, a bronze medal winner for Team Australia. She's back from her Paris adventure. Had a chance to talk with her as she gets ready to get back into her Fever colors this week. Her summer in Paris brings her home with bronze. Christy Wallace is here after her trip with Team Australia and the entire experience. You've had a couple days to kind of savor the moments that were all of this. What's your biggest takeaway from your trip?
Oh, there are so many, but just to be Australian and you know, to get a bronze medal and to do it for our country and for all the people back home and for ourselves, it was really special.
It's such a celebration of sport. Could you kind of feel that from the time you arrived there, that this was just so much more than basketball?
Definitely. Just being in the village and being around some of the best athletes in the world, the best athletes in the world, I was so in awe and I was so inspired, and hopefully that inspiration, you know, was transferred back to young kids back home. That was the goal, and I really felt that.
Was there any moment during the games where you found yourself interacting with other Olympians? There was a wow moment, perhaps.
Oh, plenty. There were so many. Definitely just seeing all the athletes, whoever they were, you know, whatever country they were from, big and small and different body types, and it was just really special just to know that they're the best at what they do, and yeah, it was really cool. Basketballers do stand out. They were very tall. It was glaring over there.
How did it feel to finish with the victory in the final game?
Yeah, very good, very good. You know, they laugh about like what's better, bronze or silver, because you finish on a loss or a win, but this was really special, and we were just happy to come away with a medal.
What was the reaction back home?
Yeah, it was really good. Lots of family, you know, chats and groups and messages. So I felt the love, and it was cool.
And to come back here, you've got balloons from the teammates. How was it to come back to the girls and you've got some bronze waiting for you here?
Really good. Lots of love here. Everyone was so excited and happy to see me in the medal. So yeah, feeling the love.
Congratulations. Have a great rest of the season.
Thank you.
Brisbane, Australia will host the 2032 Summer Olympics. That's just a short 30 minutes away from Christy's hometown in northeastern Australia. We've got more pregame coverage for you coming up. Girl power takes on a very important meaning at one Indianapolis high school. We'll show you how one Fever player is helping athletes meet their full potential. One of the hottest spots in the Fieldhouse, it's the pregame autograph line. Caitlin Clark signs dozens every night. Great to see so many kids excited to be here as our pregame rolls along. And hey, time for our Fever Flashback. It's sponsored by Forum Credit Union. We take it back last month to All-Star Weekend. Kelsey Mitchell filling in for Erica Wheeler in the Skills Challenge. Erica's flights to Phoenix got canceled. She didn't get a chance to make it, so Kels wore the jersey and did it all. Great effort out there. Hopefully E-Dub gets another go when the All-Star is here next summer. Pregame continues next. Our Friday night pregame continues. The Fever and the Phoenix Mercury coming up here as we get back from the All-Star and Olympic break. Head coach Christy Sides joining us here now. Your girls are ready to go. It's kind of clear. What's the vibe you've gotten out of them these last couple of weeks, though, as you've gotten a chance to really do some deep work in these practices?
Yeah, some great practices with these guys for the first time, you know, where you can actually spend some time just breaking down things and working on some specifics on both ends of the floor. We really improved, I think, on the defensive end, which was our focus. Had a great time really talking about team chemistry and team camaraderie. You know, I think it's such a huge part for us as it relates to moving forward with a young team.
There was some chance to do some not basketball activities with this group. You talked about kind of the bonding and the chemistry. Was that just one of those things to maybe switch the brain off a little bit and just get them going in another direction?
Yeah, you know, just to take the focus off the basketball. I mean, you're here with no games, just trying to keep it fun. That's one of the things is we always want to keep joy in our sport and in this with our team. But yeah, we were able to play some fun games, competitive games. We hit the golf ball a little bit, hit the baseball, played a home run derby. We went out and did a ropes course where we were able to do some things out there. And they loved it. You know, it's not that pressure of basketball and having to be on all the time. They were able to just to relax and get to know each other. 2
wins against Phoenix already this season. What have you done well against this team and to play into the game plan for this one tonight?
Yeah, you know, the first game out in Phoenix was a good one. We were down, I think, 14-0 to start that game, you know, and we had a timeout, talked about a few things. We needed to slow down a little bit in that game and really utilize and execute where we had the advantage and on that end of the floor. But then we had to get stops, and we were able to do that. Kelsey Mitchell came in the third and fourth quarter, just played an excellent game, hit some big shots. A.B. and Alyssa Smith, you know, battling with Griner down there. Timmy played in that game. She had some big moments. Caitlin as well, just being that playmaker, getting the ball where it needs to go.
You've had a team that's shown some moxie in the third and fourth quarters, particularly the kind of that into July right there. Have you felt this group being able to learn about how to finish, learn about how to play well late? You talked about that early in the season.
Yeah. You know, we got that 1-8 start under our belt. We've really been focusing on our last 15. Like I've told these guys where we sit in the statistics as it relates as the rankings. And, you know, being 9-6 in these last 15, we're sitting 8th in the defensive rating, right? And I keep telling these guys, like, if that's where we land at the end of the season, the work that we're putting in and the energy that we're focusing on what's in front of us and next, we're going to be right where we want to be come September 19th.
Another sellout crowd here tonight, just another sign of the rise of girls and women's sports. For one Indianapolis high school, a new facility is helping their girls get a leg up in the weight room. WRTV's Jessica Grunling has a closer look.
Oh, yeah! Oh yeah, we love it! Oh yeah, we love it!
A new addition for student athletes at Irvington Preparatory Academy.
Big. Our school has never had anything like this before.
Walking in here, I was very grateful.
Shalia Truitt and Janiyah Johnson are cheerleaders for the Ravens. Less than 2 days ago, their school weight room didn't look like this. Now, thanks to a partnership with Elevance Health and Impact Fitness, they have what they need to compete.
Bench pressing.
That's for sure.
Bench pressing. Yes. Yes, that's for sure. I'm ready to hit that bench over there. That's for sure.
Stepping into the weight room for girls can be a little intimidating.
There's a narrative that is out there that's changing, which is great.
Joanna Wiggins is the athletic director for Irvington Community Schools. She hopes this weight room will get more girls into sports. Numbers from the National Federation of State High School Associations show participation in high school athletics dropped after the pandemic. Numbers are starting to bounce back. For the 2022-2023 school year, nearly 155,000 athletes played high school sports in Indiana. While about 62,000 of them were girls, Wiggins says inner city school numbers are going down.
Take that into consideration when I'm working with our female sports. So this is so much bigger than that. But I think that we've already seen in the past, this is my second year here, we've already seen the numbers increase, and I think that's just going to keep happening. I think that the weight room, having more gymnasium space, having these amazing coaches that we have here, the numbers are just going to keep increasing, and that's my goal.
Wiggins says a surge in women's sports in Indy and interest created by the Olympics is drawing more girls to the gym.
Hey there, how are you? Hi.
And the girls had a special visitor, Temi Fagbenle of the Indiana Fever.
If I'm being honest, in some schools, girls' sports don't really get the recognition that they deserve, and more than boys' sports, so I really feel like putting this demo out to get the girls' sports out there is a really big opportunity to get us that recognition and so we can further our sports even more.
With the hope that all girls will feel more confident and comfortable.
This is definitely something that they'll be able to do after high school and be able to walk into the gym and not just go straight to the treadmill.
With this weight room, I feel like women will feel secure in them doing sports.
In Indianapolis, Jessica Grunling, WRTV.
Indiana's own straight no chaser with the national anthem here tonight at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Hey, let's get a look at the Fever's upcoming schedule. This is sponsored by Payless Liquors. They'll be back home on Sunday. We'll have that game against Seattle for you right here on WRTV at 3:30. They'll have most of next week off. Then Saturday the 24th, the Fever go to Minnesota. A trip to Atlanta in the mix as well. They're back home on the 28th. And they go to Chicago 2 weeks from tonight for our next pregame special as the Fever play the Sky on August 30th. Back with more pregame next. Fever and Phoenix coming up at 7:30 on ION. Brad Brown, Scott Angus from the Fieldhouse Files. Fever beat writer joining us here as we get set for this matchup. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, keys to the game time here as we get set for game night. This is sponsored by Real Alternatives. For the Fever, we're going to look forward to running up. They've had success against Phoenix, pushing the tempo. May not think they can get the score toward 100 tonight. They would like to do that. We're going to watch the Bigs versus BG. What can the Fever Bigs inside do against Brittany Griner? And home court advantage. This building, man, it's special when it gets going, and they're going to try to get it going early here tonight. Scott, let's start there. This place all season, it's been an X factor for this team. When they get going, that last game against Phoenix was a great example. They really have a chance to push this team a little further than maybe even they think they can go.
Yeah, I don't know how you can start anywhere but that. I mean, the Fever have been here for the last 4 weeks practicing, but you can tell this fan base is rowdy and eager to see this group again. It's a franchise that went from the worst attendance to easily the best, and that's whether they're at home or on the road. It's a huge X factor every game.
What's been the focus for the Fever as they've gotten through this last 3 weeks of practice?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing has just been defense. If they hold the team under 84 points, they win. It's as simple as that. If they give up 100-plus points and they turn it over at the rate they've been turning it over, that's a recipe for a loss out there. So playing fast tempo, not turning it over in the defense, that's been the number one thing they discussed over this last month.
We had somebody from Aaliyah Boston earlier trying not to call Phoenix old, but they're an older team and they played last night. Is that going to be kind of a really big factor? Maybe the Fever can jump on them early.
That's monstrous, especially because they had 3 Olympic players who didn't get that break, who traveled to Paris and back and didn't even get a week off. So not only do the Fever always want to push the pace and race it up the court, it's especially important against tonight's opponent.
Where is Caitlin Clark most improved from game 1 to game 26?
I think it's her knowledge of the game and the know-how. We knew the passing is there, that the outside shooting, she'll admit she's got to improve upon that. 32% is not good enough. I think it's her understanding of the league, understanding of opponents, and what she can't get away with at this level that she could easily get away with in the non-conference or maybe in the Big Ten slate.
Can you see it kind of click for her? Just every game she seems to figure something out.
I think so, and you saw that even in her very last game before the All-Star break and the Olympic break, set the league record for assists. That's something we can continue to expect. Now if she can put it together with minimizing turnovers and add that outside shot, my goodness, she's already a top 12 player in the league.
We've talked about Caitlin and Aaliyah and Kelsey. Who's one other player you expect to step up this last third of the season and maybe be an X factor for this team?
I'd really like to see something from Katie Lou Samuelson, an off-season acquisition. She was on maternity leave all last year, and so that's something she's had to work back from. But when she's out there, she's plays smart basketball, and I think she's much more aligned with those players that you referenced.
Temi Fagbenle, we might see her at some point, and it's been tough not to. When she gets back, it feels like she might be the one to be able to take this team back to the next level. They were really good with her early in the season.
Yeah, she was the player that immediately connected with Caitlin up and down the floor. She would just get to her spot and know Caitlin would find her. And it's been a challenging last couple of months for her, not being available. Then had the thumb, was in a cast. She's out of the cast. Christy sides keep teasing that she's getting closer, but is that a week? Is that 2 weeks? We don't know, but that would be a key addition back to the rotation when Temi's ready.
Ready for a fun one tonight?
We are, absolutely. Let's do this.
Yeah, Fever and Phoenix coming up 7:30 back here with Seattle on Sunday as well. Scott, thanks.
All right, thanks, Brad.
Time for a break. We'll be back to wrap up our Friday night pregame next here on WRTV.
Stability and collaboration for the greater good.
Tip-off coming up shortly here between the Fever and the Mercury. Here's how you can watch the WNBA on ION over the air on your antenna. It's channel 63-1. That's easy enough. And that same channel 63 on DirecTV and Dish Network. But you can watch it on most of your major streaming services, including Tableau, Freevee, Roku TV, YouTube TV, Google TV, and more. Pretty much if you can stream it, you can find it. IONWNBA.com for more information. Hey, the Fever had some special guests at practice this week. How about some puppies? Pause and Think is the Fishers-based organization with their therapy dogs, and they visited Fever practice earlier this week to get these girls ready to go for their game tonight here against the Phoenix Mercury. All right, countdown is on to tip-off. Getting set for this game tonight. We'll be back here again Sunday as well. Fever and Phoenix. That one at 3:30 with post-game coverage to follow. But coming up at the bottom of the hour, it's the Fever and the Phoenix Mercury on Ion. At 7:30, we'll have a recap of it for you coming up tonight on the news at 11. Hope you have a great weekend. And thank you for joining us here tonight. My thanks to Mel Reigns, Scott Agnes, and all of our guests for joining us here this evening. Going to be an exciting second half, final third of the season as the Fever try to make a run to the WNBA playoffs. And, of course, our countdown now to WNBA All-Star 2025 here in Indianapolis. For all of us at WRTV, I'm Brad Brown. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here soon. Have a good night.